Hello world, how are we doing today? If you guys really like my stuff, please like and subscribe and hit that bell notification because I try my best to release weekly videos. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. Hopefully you enjoy the rest. I know it's a bit of a different weird setting. I will be showing some of you how to make some useful space for any of you that has an Access Cab truck, specifically for the Tacoma. Having those back seats are a bit useless, but you can actually take it out and build a shelf. So I'm going to show you how to make a shelf, or at least my version of the shelf, and we can kind of just go from there and you can use your imagination. Anyway, here we go. And yeah, it should be a fun time. So you can see here that I have already taken out my seats. Actually, so funny enough, I took out these seats not long after I had purchased this truck. I kept them for a while, but once I started getting to overlanding, I realized that it was just a nuisance. And honestly, no one was coming in the back here anyway, so why not use the space to create my own shelf to separate everything? So as it looks right now, this is what it looks like. Obviously the seats, you can see that there are a bunch of holes and welded nuts for bolts. You've got the storage here. I took everything out, all the seats, the backrest, headrests, everything. And it actually gave me some more space to see back here, especially in the rear, but since I have that tent, it doesn't really matter that much. But yeah, as you can see, seats come off. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's generally bolts around holding it. Sometimes there's clips holding it as well. Bolts up here. Yeah, so it's pretty easy. Just take it out, and just by looking at the top here in the cab, I've decided to use these bolts here. I know you can see them, these ones up here, but these nuts here, 1, 2, and same with the passenger side. I've decided to use these as the bottom support for the top part of the shelf here. And the idea is to have a shelf that goes out here, legs go down here, and that way it supports the weight that goes in the front. And then I'm also gonna have some legs in the back here, like that go from the top to bottom, that way just to have some structural foundation support as well. So what I did was I ended up going to my local Home Depot, and basically I did the measurements myself here, and I'll kind of show you what that was. I wanted something that was a little bit like 2 inches. So I basically measured from the ground up, and at the bottom of the bolt, it is roughly 19 inches, and a minus 2 inches out. That's 17 right. I'm gonna do, so basically 4 legs of 17 inches. And then here you can kind of see it is roughly 6.5 inches. So I need 4 legs at 23.5 inches and 4 legs at 17 inches. And that gives me support at the front of that shelf and support in the rear of that shelf. And so the next step was to do the width or length, whichever you like to call it, from end to end of the cab. I decided to go with the plastic piece right at the end there. About there. I know it's a little bit more than 49.5, but we'll just stick with 49.5 inches. So that's the length from end to end in the cab. The last one is from the back of the cab to the seats. What I ended up doing was I found my seating position. That one's gonna be different for you guys. And basically what I determined was 16 inches was my favorite happy zone. So that gave me some room to put stuff on top of. So I got all my pieces of wood pre-cut essentially. So I did the measurements first, got them cut at my Home Depot, and basically I just assembled it at my place. So okay, so this is like basically the structure. I know I've kind of skipped the whole watching me drill at everything, but like I said, from front to back of the cab, roughly 16 inches. And then from side to side, about 49, well, almost actually on the dot, 49.5 inches. So I had to do the math with 1.5 is 3 inches. So 16 minus 3 is 13 inches across. And I did 4 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I basically just built this top part. And then to kind of elaborate a little bit more on the legs, it went to 16.5 inches rather than 16 inches for the rear legs, the 4 of them. And then the front ones, take 1.5 away, is 22.5. So because I had some extra pieces of wood, I decided to take a brace here. We'll just call it 12 3/4 to kind of support across just in case. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually test it before I actually assemble the shelf on top of the foundation here. So you get the idea here. I'm gonna be putting some L brackets here to these nuts. We're gonna take this out. We're gonna put the top shelving on, the L brackets, make sure it fits there. And then we're going to put a carpet on, because what better way to finish it with a carpet, right? This is the outside point. That's the first hole. And it's roughly 5 and we'll just say 1/4, just for the heck of it. The other one, we'll just say 14.5. We'll do a little bit less just to get an idea for both of them. So that's what we're gonna do. Basically what we're doing here is we're making sure that the brackets and the holes fit. And I'll grab one of the bolts just to make sure it fits. Fits, that fits, and they're the same measurements. They fit. So they fit, that's perfect. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the carpet on top of here and screw those in, make it look nice. And then you've got a shelf. I laid the carpet on and then I flipped it over while holding it just to get an idea. I made the slices needed for the legs, especially the front ones. Then as far as like the corners, kind of just went with the flow of like doing each corner, cut, slice, corner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take some screws to screw the carpet in place. You can use staple guns, it's probably even better, but I don't have one. So I'm just gonna use screws, some short little stubby ones, and just put it in place and kind of go from there. And then we'll reinstall it and put all my stuff in it. So yeah, here we go. I did forget to mention that the bolts that are in the cab, these ones, it is a 12mm socket for your screws. I decided to go with just a normal construction screw for wood, and there's 100 of those, pretty cheap. You can get it at any hardware store. Use my DeWalt, not sponsored. Maximum for socket set, also not sponsored. Yeah, this is what the shelf kind of looks like. Just to give you an idea. I decided to put some hooks on here. I like it. I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it's full, and then we're gonna have some tacos for supper, right? Mm-hmm. This gives you an idea. You know, you got space for the bottom for heavier stuff, possible recovery gear. And then at the top, you've got, it can be clothes, it can be easy access stuff, backpacks, clothing backpacks, anything. So